Cam, thanks for joining us. How's it going?
It's going well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely excited to chat with you, all things Disney, and definitely about Cam travels. We'll get into some movie talk and a little bit about Disney and see what you're excited for. I see you're wearing a Marvel shirt, so I probably have an inkling as to some of the
Just a
ones
little
that
bit.
you're pumped for. But Cam, tell us about Cam Travels and sort of what got you started with this.
Cam's Travels is my social media page. I just love essentially all things travel and theme parks. Growing up, my background, my dad was in the army. I traveled. Moved every 2 years, so I've seen. I saw a bunch of different places around the world that most people probably don't see in their whole lifetime. I got to see by the time I was 17. So that love of travel and like exploring and seeing new places came from that. And then obviously growing up and going to Disney, just kind of wanted to combine the two together. But essentially starting it was COVID. I mean, I know a lot of us, started with, hey, we're at home, we're bored. Let's just, make some funny videos and do anything and see what happens with it. And it kind of just took off out of nowhere. And I like not took off like a million followers, but like for something I wasn't expecting
Yeah,
and wouldn't have realized. So it's just one of those things. It just one thing led to another, and here we are.
that's awesome. I'm going to swipe my camera real quick because it's, of course, doing the fuzzy thing here. See if we can get a little bit better focus. My lighting in this place is crazy. It'll fix itself. That's awesome. So why Disney? Like, what makes you you're basically like my go-to Disney guy on TikTok and stuff now, and
Mhm.
especially on
Well,
YouTube.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that because there's a lot more people that are way bigger than me. So I appreciate that. But essentially, I mean, I grew up going to Disney. It was like, I mean, my family's from Florida, so like Disney's always been our home away from home, especially with me moving every 2 years. It was kind of our like, hey, we're gonna go to Disney this summer, or we're gonna go to Disney in the fall. And it was kind of that, home away from home kind of thing where it was like, okay, hey, we're going on vacation, we're in Disney. And then my aunt worked for Disney for 40 years. So, when we were younger, she would get us into the parks and, she'd have all the cool Disney stuff at her house that we'd, go and see and stuff like that. And then even like I got to see Disneyland Paris before I even got to see like Disneyland. So I went to Disneyland Paris when I was a kid a bunch of times because we lived in Germany. So, Paris is not it's just quick train ride, quick flight over there. So did that probably 3 or 4 times when I was, in between the age of like 6 and 14 because we lived there twice.
Yeah,
So that was awesome. So, seeing that like a different side of Disney when I was younger than I was expecting was really cool. And just kind of from that, it grew, but it was never anything like crazy special or anything that I was like, oh, I want to, showcase my, love for Disney and love for theme parks and travel. And like I said, until I came here and, did the Disney college program and then TikTok and then realized, kind of where it could take me. And it's like, oh, okay, like this can, go somewhere rather than just me going to the parks and just, doing random things.
yeah, that's awesome. And we have to talk about one video in particular you did, which I've seen before, but it's just absolutely wild. The 6 parks in one day video. And for those that don't know, and I'm sure you can explain it a little bit better, but we're talking about the 2 parks that are in California with Disneyland and California Adventure, and the 4 parks that make up Walt Disney World. Tell us about that. How did you pull that off?
It was very strategic. Because now if it was in normal times, like, parks back like they were in, 2019 where no park reservations, it's simple because, you can, park hop whenever you want to. You could, go to Magic Kingdom at 9 a.m., ride a ride, do your things. You can be in Hollywood Studios by 10, right? So that was the most difficult thing was strategically planning out with the park reservations, park hopping rules, and all that. So essentially, I knew I had to start here because of the park hopping rule. So I started here at 5 p.m. I think it was. I can't even remember now. So 5 p.m. here. I think I started in where did I start? Animal Kingdom. I can't remember where I started. Animal Kingdom. Then I went to Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and then Magic. Ended in Magic because that was the park that was open the latest. So did 4 parks from 5 to
Oh my gosh.
11. So 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. So and I had a bunch of friends come and help me. Like they were, hey, okay, this is what we got to do. And because if I was by myself, I could have done it, but it's easier when you have people there going, okay, hey, here's the wait times. Okay, let's go on this ride. Rather than me trying to film with the camera, look at this. There's a lot of wasted time right there. So very thankful that, friends came and helped me out. And I had friends here. And then when I flew to California, I had friends over there help me. But yeah, so essentially I had 24 hours. And it wasn't like hey, I'm going to do 24 hours and give a little leeway for the time change. I told myself, you're on a strict 24 hours. So 5 p.m. here, you have to end at 2 p.m. in California. Strict 24 hours. So yeah, got back at 11. And, I was like, you know what? I want to have the same clothes on in every picture in every park just to kind of symbolize it. So I was like, you know what? Like, I was like, I need to wash my clothes. Cause I was like, I can't just like, have the same clothes I had on yesterday. People were going to be like, gross, whatever. So I got home at like 11:30, decided to do laundry, and make sure everything was packed. I don't think I went to bed till like 1. I had to get up at like 4, I think. Went to the airport, got on the plane to, LAX. Really good friend of mine, Nick, picked me up at LAX, which was super nice, but he did not have to do that. He could have just said, hey, I'll meet you in the park. You can Uber there. But no, he picked me up. We got to the park, did everything there. Yeah, so I think I slept maybe, I think 30 minutes on the flight. I was just excited, like, to get everything done and then just to be like,
for sure. The adrenaline's going at that point.
yeah, at that point you're like, okay, I'm up, I'm ready to go. We got to get this done. Got there, did the 2 parks there, and you beat it by 2 o'clock. And at that point, any normal person would have been like, I'm gonna go to the hotel and just relax, go to sleep, maybe enjoy the pool or whatever, right? Well, I had more friends come in, and they were like, hey, we're gonna stay at the park closed. And I'm like, screw it, whatever. I'm already here. Like, I'm in Disneyland. I don't get to come that often. Like, might as well just like live up to it, which benefited me a lot because I actually got into Club 33, which was really cool.
Nice.
Over there. So like, luckily, like I had, friends of a friend of a friend was in the parks with us, and they got us in. Obviously can't give names, but it was awesome. Definitely, an experience I will never forget. My body will never forget. It was, I think I don't even think I made it to I was probably passed out as I walked in the room. I was just mentally just drained, and everything. And I completed everything because I had to do 1 ride in every park, 1 snack, and then 1 drink. So yeah, it was tough, but it was fun. Looking back on it, it was worth it. In the moment when I finished, I was like, "What the hell did I just do to myself?" And it was just one of those things where my body just didn't. I think it took me like a week to recover, like full like body. I think I did like I tracked it from like the 24-hour window.
Would you ever do it again?
I'm gonna say no, but who knows? I'll be honest. If the park reservations, the park hopping rules go away, I could see myself doing it again for fun. But I think I would do it with like a group of people this time. Not saying that like, obviously I had friends help me here and there, but like actually do it as a group. So I have like maybe 3-4 people all do it together. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, it took, I think I did like 30,000, maybe almost 40,000 steps.
That's insane.
Like, just like, cause hey, I'm going to go ride Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay. But I want this snack. So I have to go to this side of the park. Okay. Now I want this drink. I have to go to this side of the park. Yeah, it was wild. I mean, obviously, in the airport, through security, outside the airport, baggage claim, all the steps, hotel, checking the hotel, running to the parks, park hopping across the parks, and then obviously the time after.
I'm stressed just hearing about it.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I'm like, wow, like, I can't believe I did it. It was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. It was cool to be like, oh my God, I just did this. And like all my friends at Disneyland were like, dude, you just did this in 24 hours. And like, it hadn't hit me, like, because I was so tired. I was like, cool, thanks, I appreciate it. Like,
it's absolutely insane.
And then I got home and I was like, there's no way. Like, there's no way.
So I guess like with all that, my next question for you is, and I think I know the answer to this: Disneyland or Walt Disney World? Which do you prefer?
So that's tough. It's really tough, but I honestly prefer Disneyland.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if you were thinking that, but yeah,
no, I wasn't at all.
I prefer Disneyland. There's just, it's hard to explain. to people who have never been, it's something's just different about it. Like obviously, like it's Walt's, first park. It's everything, and you
Absolutely.
walk in there, you just like you can feel the history when you walk in that park. Not saying you can't feel the history, of Walt Disney World. Now, and would my opinion change if I didn't live in Orlando? Maybe
Mm,
because literally Disney
of
World's 10 minutes away from me, so it's like literally in my backyard. So I don't get to see Disneyland that often. So that could skew the scale a little bit, but they do everything there better. Obviously, it's a lot smaller, not as much to do in Disneyland, but the rides there are better, the food's better, entertainment's better. It's just one of those things you kind of have to go and see it for yourself, and
yeah.
it's just I don't know. There's something about it for me. It clicks. I didn't think I would ever. Before I went, people were like, "Oh, I like Disneyland better." I'm like, "How? Like it can fit in the Magic Kingdom parking lot. Like how could you like it that much?" And then I went, and I was like, "Oh,
I get
you're right." Yeah.
it.
I'm also a big Marvel fan, so they have Avengers Campus. Can't beat that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good transition there to talking about the movie stuff. But I want to first ask, with Walt Disney World, since you're based in Orlando and you see all the good and the bad with the crowds that are coming down, and we were just talking offline about how busy it is right now. Out of the four parks, which do you prefer down in Orlando?
As of right now, Hollywood Studios.
Okay.
When all the construction's done and everything's back to normal, it'll be
Okay.
Epcot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's just too much going on at Epcot for me to put it number one. Just all the walls, but once everything's done and it's finished, I know Epcot will be number one again.
That Food and Wine Festival, though, has a special place in my heart.
See, for me, I like Festival of the Arts. I'm
Okay.
a big Festival of the Arts guy. I just like I don't know. I like going around seeing all the Disney art, Star Wars art, Marvel
Yeah.
art. I got like that picture right here. That's from Festival of the Arts. Where'd it go? I have another picture somewhere here from Festival of
Nice.
the Arts. But I know come Friday when it starts, I'm gonna probably buy something else. So we'll see.
I'll be looking for
My
that.
wallet won't like me, but
Right, right. So let's transition a little bit to movies. So you are a big Disney guy. You, of course, probably grew up with the Disney movies the same way that I did and a
Mhm.
lot of others did. So, a couple hot button questions here. In terms of Disney movies in general, so we'll talk Disney animated. What are your top Disney animated? Like, what's the one or two or three that really stick out for you?
So for me, I'll go in order. I'll go
And
one,
I'll
two, three.
I'll include
So,
Pixar in that, Cam.
oh, okay. So hold on. I might have to. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I don't think anything. I mean, I love Pixar. Like, if I don't pick any Pixar, it's gonna be like four or five would be them. I'm gonna say for me, it's Tarzan's number one. I grew up loving Tarzan, so that's my number one Disney movie.
Well,
Um,
that
yeah,
soundtrack
you
is
can't you
phenomenal.
can't beat that soundtrack. So Tarzan's number one, Lion King's number two,
Okay.
and then a tie. I would say a tie for third for me would be Hercules. And I really love the Goofy movie. That's just one that hit home as a
It's a
kid. I don't know what
classic.
it was. It's just a classic movie, and that's just one of my top ones. For Pixar, I mean, any of the Toy Stories you could throw in there.
Sure.
More mostly two. Two's my favorite. And then I'm trying to think of another Pixar one that I could throw in there.
I
There's
think
so
that says
many.
a lot.
There's so many Pixar that's like I could throw one in there, but then I'd be like, oh my god, I forgot that one. I'll leave it at that for right now because I'll hate myself for kicking one out and putting one in. I'll leave it at that.
With Hercules, who do you think should play Hercules in the live action? Any ideas? There's been so many
That's
people rumored for a long time.
there is, and I haven't even seen some. I haven't seen all the rumors, so I'm not even sure who they're people are
Yeah,
talking about. But I'm trying to think. Obviously it's got to be someone kind of young.
mhm.
Um,
It's hard. It's hard.
who would play?
They're talking
I
about
don't.
Henry Cavill's rumored for Hades, which is kind of interesting.
That is interesting because I don't really see him as a bad guy.
Right.
I don't, and he's not. I mean, not that Henry Cavill's not a great actor, but he's. I feel like Hades is funny. I don't see Henry
Agreed.
Cavill being like a comedian. Like, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, for Hercules, they'll do great with whoever they cast. Honestly, but I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Do you have anyone that you'd like to see?
I honestly don't. I asked that question and I was like, oh crap. I don't have anyone. I can't think of anyone that would do that. That would be good in that role because, and this is where I struggle with a lot of the live action, is that the live action, I mean, the animated films are so iconic in so many ways that even trying to think of someone to take on those roles has been challenging. I think they did a great job with some of them. Emma Watson as Belle was, I think, phenomenal casting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I struggle with it. I really do struggle with it.
It's hard when you done that question. You're just like, okay, that person, no, because like I said, they have to be young. They got to be young or at least younger looking.
Yeah.
And then Hades definitely has to be someone funny. I mean, Henry Cavill's a big guy, so I think I get that, but Hades is funny. I don't see. I mean, Henry Cavill could pull it off great. Who knows? But I wouldn't see it.
I'm trying to see real quick if there's anyone that's rumored here to play Hercules, and I can't. There's no one popping up right away, so maybe they're still kicking the tires there. So for mine, I would say my top one, Phil Collins again, but with Brother Bear. It's so off the map. It's so off the map, but I love Brother Bear. Brother Bear, I'd go. Aladdin's my number 2, and Coco is my number 3.
Okay.
I love Coco.
That's a good one.
I think it's a phenomenal.
And that one shocked me. I didn't think I would, because it came out, as I got older. So I'm like, okay, I'm kind of straying away from the Pixar era. And I was like, I'll give it a shot. I'll go see it. And I was like, I was blown away. I was like, wow. I was like, was not expecting to go in there and like love this movie. Was like expecting to come out and be like, okay, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. And I was blown away.
Pixar has its moments where they get a little bit more mature, and it's they hit. They know what they're doing.
It hits a heartstring somewhere, and you're like, God, start choking up. Like, oh, my allergies are coming.
All right, so switching gears to Marvel, here's the big question that's taking the internet by storm. Let's look at Phase 4. What Phase 4 movies? What's your favorite Phase 4 movie? Let's go that route.
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Agreed.
Favorite.
Solid.
Close second. Close. Okay, I'm not gonna give it a close second because it's not close second. But number 2 for me was Wakanda Forever.
Oh, so good.
It was so good, and I went in there with like minimal expectations because I was like, whatever they do, whatever they had to go through with the passing of Chadwick, like whatever it is, and I was like, wow. For me personally, I almost enjoyed it more than the first Black Panther.
I agree with you there, actually.
As a whole movie, I mean, obviously, I think Chadwick's a better Black Panther than Letitia Wright. Yeah, I was about to just call her Shuri. And but she did she blew me away. She did a fantastic job. That was one of those. I was more shocked and like, wow, I actually was not expecting to put this like in my top 3 of Phase 4, and it quickly shot up.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It was really good. We talked on our podcast a lot about how worried we were for the film because they didn't have Chadwick. They had a big ask. It was a tall task for them. But I love it. I thought they pulled it off really well. So yeah, just absolutely incredible there. Looking forward, did you see the Ant-Man trailer the other night?
I did see the Ant-Man trailer. Oh, I have a big bold hot take. I think Kang's gonna be bigger than Thanos as a villain in the MCU. I mean, don't get me wrong. Thanos is right now. He's the biggest bad we've seen. But I think I don't know from just the way Kang has come in the trailers and how he was how his variant was in the Loki series. Just kind of saying that, hey, like, okay, if you stab me with this knife, just know that I'm coming for you and I'll see you soon. And it's like he knows that like his other variants are going to come, and I can only imagine how many variants we're going to see of Kang, and they're probably all going to progressively get more deviant and diabolical and just destroy and wreak havoc on all of our favorite Avengers. So I mean, if it doesn't come true, I'll bite the bullet on that one. But if it does come true, sure, there it is.
I think that's a great take. I honestly do. I agree with you there. There's a lot of talk that Kang isn't really the big bad in this movie, that it's actually MODOK pulling a lot of strings behind the scenes. And we got the first look at, Darren Cross back as MODOK in this last trailer too, which was interesting. I'm glad that they're doing that because that was a rumor for a while as to how MODOK could come into play. I think that's a really cool way to reach back to the first film.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Which Marvel movie are you most looking forward to that's coming up?
It's this one. I'm
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to because I've been on the Kang train since his variant showed up in Loki. So I'm riding it. I am pedal to the metal on Kang. I'm all in on him. So I'm really hyped for this movie. Obviously, I think he's gonna come in at the beginning of the movie and be the nice guy. Hey, I can help you out.
Yep.
And then at the end, it's obviously from the trailer. He's like, "Well, I didn't agree to that," or some whatever he said. And I was like, "Oh, kind of sorry," and then just goes to destroy Ant-Man. I don't know if Ant-Man is gonna make it out. I don't know
I
if
was
he's
just
gonna
going
make
to
it out of
ask
this
you that.
movie. But I mean, I've seen obviously we're getting to that point in time where people are speculating different things. Theories are coming out. So my whole TikTok feed is full of Ant-Man theories left and right. People are saying the Fantastic Four could show up. And that rumor's been for probably every last Marvel movie ever that's come out in the last 2 years. Oh, Fantastic Four will be in an end credit scene, or the Fantastic Four will show up. But I did see one that kind of made me think, because obviously when Ant-Man got stuck in the quantum realm
Mhm.
in the end of Ant-Man 2, obviously time moves different in the quantum realm. So 5 hours to him was 5 years on Earth. So there was a theory, or someone came up with a video, and obviously in Infinity War, Thanos had his big bad entrance moment, just kind of showing up and just beating up Hulk, killing Loki, beating up Thor. So people were saying this whole movie is going to be Kang's entrance moment, and when he escapes the quantum realm, that's going to be the beginning of Kang Dynasty, the movie,
Mm.
because time moves different. So while we're watching Quantumania
Huh.
in the MCU timeline, all the things between Quantumania and Kang Dynasty are going to happen. Everything in the middle is going to happen. And
Interesting.
then I saw it, I was like, wow, that's really interesting, because like obviously Kang's gonna escape. We know he's somehow gonna get out of there, or a variant is gonna get out that's gonna destroy, Ant-Man or something. We'll see. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, it's one of those takes where I'm like, I might hold on to that one. I might believe that one a little bit, rather than some other ones that people come out with, like, oh, the Fantastic Four will be in an end credit scene.
Yeah, we're gonna get that until they announce Fantastic Four and introduce it. It's the same thing with Mephisto back in the day. Oh, Mephisto is gonna be in this project.
Yeah, he'll be in this TV show. Oh, did you see him? He was that fly in
Why?
WandaVision. Everyone bought into it. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, it's him. It's him.
Yeah,
That was one of the most fun moments, I think, in the MCU in a long time, is all the theories like week by week of WandaVision. Oh yeah, it's Mephisto behind it. It's Mephisto.
it's
Never was
crazy.
Mephisto.
We build ourselves up to let ourselves down. It's insane.
Yeah. I love
Um,
it. It's just the all time, moment. You get yourself hyped up and then it doesn't happen, so you're mad and you're like,
yeah. My take is I think the Eternals are involved a little bit more. I think Eternals are connected to Shang-Chi with the 10 rings and the technology that forget the character's name in Eternals. That I think it was Brian Tyree Henry's character.
Mhm.
And I think that's you see some remnants of that sort of in what we're seeing with Quantumania. I don't know how it all connects,
Even
but
with the rings,
yep,
even in the like the rings in the it looks like there's trailer, like the rings that Shang-Chi has are the same
yep.
rings that are in the quantum. So they're all gonna connect eventually. And I know we all hated how phase four was kind of all spread out and nothing really correlated with each other. I mean, I think the only thing that really kind of correlated with each other was the end of No Way Home, and
Yeah.
then the beginning of Multiverse of Madness, where he was like, "Oh yeah, I know Spider-Man," and that was just kind of like I just helped Spider-Man, and it was like, okay, cool. That was kind of the only thing that connected. But I think
The-
everything now is just gonna kind of come into play, and
yeah.
we'll see. And it's gonna be awesome. We'll see. And then
The bracelets in Miss Marvel as well. I think they're
yeah,
also
that.
yep.
And actually, I honestly haven't. I'll call myself out. I haven't watched it.
It's really good,
Um,
Cam. It's a really
is
good
it?
show.
Is it
Surprisingly, I
okay?
didn't
So I'll
expect it
watch
to be.
because it was one of those things where it's like you see all these things on TikTok and people don't watch it. Here it is, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, people are saying like I won't watch it, but I mean, I've heard a bunch of people say that it's good, so
Yeah.
I'll watch it before. I'll probably try and watch it before Quantumania comes out, because it's not that long, is it? Like
No,
8
I think it's
episodes, something like
8 episodes, maybe.
that? Okay.
Yeah, and they move quickly. It's fun. All right, Cam. So wrapping up a little bit here, what's next for Cam Travels? Any big plans in terms of the Disney coverage or expanding the channel at all?
Not channel wise, kind of, for me, for like going on trips, I don't really, I mean, I plan in advance, but a lot of things are very last minute. So I'm like, okay, I could tell you nothing's gonna happen right now, and then tomorrow I'm like, oh, I may, come up with the biggest trip I've ever taken in my life, or I come up with 6 parks in one day. So it just depends on that. Just it's just kind of I play it by ear. If something cool comes up, something cool gets announced that I want to go and see, I'll venture out and go see it. But nothing in the works right now for the channel. For here, for Disney wise, obviously Tron's opening up soon. We just got that information, which is awesome.
April
About
4th, is it?
about time. Yeah, April 4th. I think they should have just put it on April Fool's Day. It would have been funny. Just a funny joke. But yeah, so April 4th, and then Happily Ever After's coming back. So kind of doing that. I'm not sure if Disney World's doing a lot for the 100-year anniversary of Disney. I know Disneyland's doing a lot. Not sure. So maybe we get some announcements. I'll do some stuff on that. But just kind of going with the flow, and if anything new happens, I'll cover that and go check it out.
That's awesome. It's all great content. And, just going back to your channel, some of the videos are so fun because there's stuff that you cover that I've never done at Disney. And then other stuff
Mhm.
that I see where I've done it a million times. And I'm like, yep, that's it. That's,
Yep,
that's
that's exactly.
exciting to
Yeah,
see.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
the best part is like showing people like different things that you can do in Disney World.
yeah.
Other than just going to the parks and riding rides, there's so many things to do, and everything's fun. Even just going to Springs, hanging out, eating, drinking, shopping, literally everything.
I did a trip by myself last year just to get away it was supposed to be like 3 days, 4 days. And then the last day I was like, I don't want to go home. So I changed my airfare, got a room again. And I was at Disney Springs every night at like a different place, just having a drink, walking around, checking things out, listening to the bands. It was so much fun.
It's a fun. I love to people watch, so
Yeah,
it's a fun place to just go around and just people watch. I love it. Obviously, Disney World's probably one of the best places to people watch. It's just
100%.
under them.
100%. Cam, let people know where they can find you on socials and on YouTube.
Yeah, so everything is Cam's Travels. I know Instagram is Cam's Travels, and at the end it's underscore. YouTube is just Cam's Travels, and you can find me on there.
Awesome. Well, hey, Cam, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us about not only your channel and everything Disney, but we got into Marvel as well, which
Yeah,
I know is on everyone's minds coming up. So we'll
yeah.
see what
A lot of
happens with
things happen.
Ant-Man in less than a month. It's crazy.
It's here earlier, like last year. I was like, oh my, wait till February because they delayed it. And I
Yeah.
was like, wait, and now it's almost here. So crazy. But no, I appreciate you for having me. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk soon.
All right.